All right, this problem is slightly related to the last problem, but it's missing a number in the expression. So we want to find what that value is, in this case of k, that makes x minus 2 a factor of x cubed plus kx squared minus x minus 30. And the quickest way I can think of doing this is to, well, first you have to understand that if it's a factor, then its remainder is going to be equal to 0. Now, if you remember that, you can set it equal to the remainder. So really, we want to know what value of k, when I set this equal to 0, makes x positive 2. So if x is 2, and it's 2 because we want to change the sign of that, just like we're doing synthetic division. So I would plug in 2 in for the x. I don't know k. But just like the remainder theorem states that you can plug in the number of the opposite of the expression that you're dividing by into the x value and set it equal to what the remainder is. And since the remainder should be 0, this is what you'd want to solve. Now to solve that, we'd want to combine the numbers that don't have a k with them. So we're going to do 2 to the third power minus 2 minus 30. That's going to be 2 to the third power is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 minus 30 is negative 24. We will double check that in the calculator. So then we have k times 2 squared, which is 4k, minus 24 equals 0. Add 24 to both sides. And divide by 4. And k should be 6. We can also use synthetic division as well. So if you want to do it that way, you would set up your 2 in the box. Your coefficient would be 1. We'd leave the k as k. This would be negative 1, negative 30. You make your remainder equal to 0, and you work backwards. So that's going to mean this is going to have to be 30, because they cancel each other out. Now, I'm going to go back from the beginning. If I brought down the 1, 1 times 2 is 2. This is k plus 2, which I don't know. But I do know that k plus 2 times 2, if I were to multiply that, that would be 2k plus 4. And if I added the negative 1 to that, that would be 2k plus 3. And if I multiplied the 2k plus 3 times 2, that's going to be 4k plus 6. So my equation would be 4k plus 6 is equal to 30. Now if I solve that out, I would subtract 6, and 24 divided by 4 is going to be 6. So I can get the same thing that way, and you can do some mental math on this too. For instance, you could say, all right, well, if that's 30, what times 2 is 30? And that would have to be 15. So you could say that's 15. All right, what number plus negative 1 is 15? Well, that would have to be 16. What number times 2 is 16? That would have to be 8. And we know this is 2, so what plus 2 is 8? Well, that would have to be 6. So you got a few ways to do that, but I definitely like this way because I can just plug the number in and then just solve the equation without having to go through this synthetic process.